Now, as a next thing, what we are going to talk upon are the parametric and the non-parametric machine learning algorithms. We'll just try to understand the crux of what is the difference between both of them so that you are aware of where the parametric algorithms would be suitable and where would the non-parametric be suitable. So let's try to firstly understand what are the parametric algorithms. Algorithms that make use of the assumptions before building a model on that data are known as the parametric machine learning algorithms. So, algorithms which usually depend upon heavy statistical functioning, where there are certain statistical tests that are going to run behind the scenes, are usually based on certain assumptions. And these kind of algorithms are more mathematical and more, assumption and calculation based. So, a parametric algorithm involves a two-step process. Firstly, we need to select a form for the function. Like, what are the kind of statistical tests that are going to be required to run in order to build that machine learning model? That is what we need to identify first. And then, once that particular set of equations or the functions work upon the data, we get some coefficients that it returns. And what we need to understand is what is the meaning of each and every coefficient over there based on the training data that we had passed as the input. So that is where parametric machine learning algorithms use a kind of mapping function. For example, linear regression is an algorithm that makes use of a parametric approach. Now, this algorithm, we will discuss upon it in detail later on, but this algorithm is called as a parametric one because there are several assumption checks that you need to do in order to get some good and reliable results from the linear regression model. There are several assumptions related to the shape of the data, the distribution of the data, certain checks related to whether or not there are outliers in the data, etc. And if those assumptions are being met, then the model that you will be building would be more reliable. And of course, you can build the model without relying on those assumption checks, but in such kind of situations, the final results or the outcomes that you see at the end of the model building part may not be as reliable as you would get in case of a parametric model. So there are several such algorithms which require certain assumptions to be checked before or sometimes even after the model is being built in order to be just able to justify that yes, the model that we have built has been built as per the assumption checks, and that's the reason why we would call it a more reliable approach. So if you see this example which is present on the screen right now, this is a kind of mapping function which is used in case of a linear regression. Now, if you see this equation that has been provided here, this equation is y is equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 into x1 plus beta 2 into x2, where your x1 and x2 are nothing but the independent variables in the data and the y is nothing but the dependent variable. So we are stating here that the y, the dependent variable's value, is a function which is going to have this set of values. So what we need to consider over here are these coefficients in the equation, which is beta 0, beta 1 and the beta 2. And based on the values that are passed to the model during the training phase, it will try to end up reaching this kind of an equation. Now, once those coefficients are returned to you as the output, all you need to do is pass some x values as the input, and we will be able to generate the y value as the output. So if you see this, it is an equation where you just need to plug in the values, and it's a typical mathematical formula which will give you the predicted value. So here, your function is actually an equation that will give you the output. Whereas sometimes where you are working upon non-parametric kind of models, the model will heavily rely upon the trends and patterns that it has identified in the data and will be less relying upon the mathematical equations as such. So that is something that we need to understand as a basic difference between the parametric and the non-parametric approaches. Now over here, once this equation is generated, we can understand what does that beta 0, beta 1 and beta 2 in the equation mean, and that will help us understand its relativity with respect to the target or the dependent variable. And we will also be able to understand how each and every independent variable like the x1 and x2 which are available here will impact the y variable. Now this functional form is ideally a kind of linear combination of the input variables, isn't it? And that's the reason why this kind of algorithms are called as linear machine learning algorithms. So linear regression is one such approach where you will be able to see this kind of mathematical equations, and yes, it is hence a parametric method. And there are several assumptions related to the linear regression, like assumption of no outliers in the data. We have the assumption of linearity, that the variable should have a linear relationship with the y variable. We also have the assumption of normality, that the y variable should follow an approximate normal distribution. We also have another assumption check related to no multicollinearity in the data. So there are several such assumptions and various statistical checks that you need to do before you end up going ahead and building the linear regression model onto that data. So that's something that is a parametric method. Now, what are the benefits of parametric machine learning techniques? Firstly, they are simpler because these are nothing but kind of typical equations that usually run behind the scenes in order to do the predictions for you. So they are very simple and mathematically explainable. Second thing is speed. Parametric models are very fast to learn from the data because once they understand the relationships between those variables or the linear combinations of the input variables, it is easy for it to build the model on even the large amount of data. So speed definitely becomes a benefit here. The third thing that we have is less data is also sufficient. So if the equation is once formed, it does not require a lot of data to justify that equation. So very less amount of data and you will still be able to build a good model onto it because it's a kind of parametric method. And given that certain assumptions check have been performed previously on that data, that means it's a proper data to be fed to the machine learning model. So considering that, even less data but good quality data is what we will have, and hence training the model will be a easier task. But at the same time, there are certain limitations that are present related to the parametric approaches, like they are constrained. So over here, when you are creating a function typically, like a equation that we saw, what happens is we are restricted to that exact same equations. The values for those slope coefficients once fixed, like the beta 0, beta 1 and beta 2 that we saw in that equation, once those values are fixed, you are bound to use the same values every time whenever you are passing different values for x1 and x2. So those values remain unchanged in the equation. What changes is only the input variables values that you pass. So we are highly constrained to the equations that get used behind the scenes. Limited complexity is what you can manage over here. So if you remember, we spoke about noisy data that we have in the real world, right? So such kind of parametric models that we build on the data are not very suitable for noisy data, especially because in case of noisy data, there are a lot of mixtures of trends and patterns, and overlapping kind of data is what you may find in case of a real world or a noisy kind of a data. So that's where the complexity is higher. And the parametric methods, since they are restricted to that typical formulas, you will see that it cannot handle a large complexity. It is restricted to limited complexity data, and hence it is suitable for more simpler problems to work upon, not very complex ones. In case of data sets where they are especially noisy, you will see the non-parametric algorithms really prove their magic over there. And of course, poor fit is again another limitation or drawback associated with parametric algorithms. And when we talk about poor fit, what we mean is that if suppose once you are in the application phase where you have deployed that project for the client, and the client is passing some data as the input. Let's assume that data is slightly different from the rest of the data that was, used in order to build that model. So in that kind of situations, the equation may not fit that data points very appropriately. So the predicted values that you could get over there in that case will be, completely unreliable. So that is what is called as a poor fit. It worked well on the training data, the equation is very good on that, but when you are passing some real data, and those values are different from the kind of values that the model had encountered before, that's where of course it wouldn't be able to predict very well, and that leads to a poor fit model. We also call these kind of models as underfitted models. These are certain other terminologies that are used in the world of machine learning, but there is still time to reach that particular stage of discussion. So yeah, these are certain limitations of the parametric machine learning algorithms. Now let's talk upon the non-parametric machine learning algorithms. Now, algorithms which do not rely upon any assumption checks as such are called as the non-parametric machine learning algorithms. And there are many algorithms that fall under the non-parametric category, because these are algorithms that usually look at the various trends and patterns in the data. Of course, they also make use of mathematical functions and the equations behind the scenes, but they do not rely on any assumption checks, because there are lesser statistical tests that run behind the scenes. So that is where these algorithms become non-parametric. So these algorithms are free to learn any functional form from the training data. So overall, based on the patterns and trends that are observed in the data, it will try to create that equation. And these algorithms assume patterns as mapping function, which are close and likely to have a similar output variable. So in case of the previous example of parametric, where we saw an equation where we are constrained to it, that kind of a scenario is not present in case of non-parametric methods. You will be able to get the mapping function as a kind of function which will give you a close to or a similar kind of a value, not exactly restricted or bound to a particular equation or a typical formula as such. And this method definitely works very well when there is a lot of data, and it also helps us choose the right set of features. So algorithms like your decision trees are non-parametric algorithms, and they help you identify the features. So if you remember, we spoke about feature selection as part of the data pre-processing techniques and all. That is where decision tree is an algorithm that helps you understand how much is each and every variable contributing towards the model building part. So if you see that a particular variable is contributing higher compared to the rest of the variables, you clearly understand that that is a more significant variable compared to the others, right? So that kind of thing is also something that we get as a help when we are working upon certain non-parametric machine learning algorithms. What are the benefits of using a non-parametric algorithm? Flexibility. Of course, it is capable of fitting a large number of functional forms. So there are several formulas and all that can be incorporated as part of the model, so that becomes flexible. Power is that it does not rely on any of the underlying assumptions. So you don't have to do that assumption checks and all, because of which I would also say that it becomes a faster process. Faster because you don't have assumptions to check, so you can directly just take the data, you can work on those data transformation related steps, and you can go ahead and build the model onto that data, right? So as when there are assumption checks involved as part of the parametric machine learning algorithms, you also have to spend time on those assumption checks or the running of the statistical functions there to see whether those assumptions are being met or not, right? If they are not being met, we need to transform the data. So that again consumes a lot of time as part of the entire model building process. So that set of steps get completely eliminated in this thing. So yes, that again becomes a benefit while working upon a non-parametric machine learning algorithms. And performance, yes, definitely. Since these are kind of models that can work upon large amount of data and you know identify those patterns and all in the data, without having to depend on those assumption checks, they usually result in higher performance while doing the predictions, because again, we are not bound to a single equation and the set of values over there. It can change depending upon the kind of scenarios that are observed in the data. So that gives us a better performance when it comes to the final predictions or the testing phase, where we are trying to predict onto the unseen data. But yes, these algorithms come with their own limitations as well. Like, it requires more data to learn upon, so the training data that will be needed in order to build a non-parametric machine learning algorithm is usually high in size or high in volume, because the more the amount of data, the better is the kind of training that your model gets. And they even become slower many a times, because such models, when we do the training, they often have a lot of parameters that we need to fine tune, and the time that usually is required is to identify the best set of values for those parameters. So in order to figure out the best set of values which will give you that optimum model, sometimes the process becomes slower there. And yes, overfitting is also a kind of risk over there, because many a times such models work very well on the kind of data that you have used in order to train, because the model has now identified the patterns very well, understood the trends in that data very well, so it is able to predict something similar to that data very efficiently. But if you pass some sort of unseen data, which the kind of data that the model has not seen before, that's again where it will not be able to predict very well. So that is a case of overfitting that we have. So that again is a kind of potential limitation when it comes to the non-parametric algorithms as such. Okay, so that's a little bit about the parametric and the non-parametric algorithms and the basic difference between both of them. And while we discuss the several algorithms that fall under the types of machine learning, I'll tell you some of the algorithms which are parametric, whether versus some of the algorithms that we will list will be kind of non-parametric. So we'll try to discuss upon that as and how we try to reach that stage of discussion.